guys try to look tough and like they won't cry or get angry or anything like that. So a lot of words aren't actually said due to this thing, but us girls really appreciate communication. Not only does it make it easier in a relationship, but it also makes us able to understand and make a emotional connection with you guys. Just a little quick tip here, that's one of the things that you should know. You playing with children or animals makes you even more attractive. Believe me on that one. And the last thing that you need to know is if we have a brother, you have to gain his approval as well. Most brothers are very protective over their sisters. You have to have their approval just as much as you have to have the girl's father's approval. So those are my 8 more things that girls wish guys knew. My god. I really hope that you guys out there found it helpful. And the last thing, please don't take offense, girls, if these things don't apply to you. And also guys, like, don't freak out that we're crazy. Like, this is just for entertainment, and I hope you guys enjoy the video regardless of whether you do these things or not. So I hope you guys are having a fabulous morning, lunch,
Hey, so today I'm going to be going over some tips I learned reading The Game by Neil Strauss. In this video you will learn 7 tips on how to get a girlfriend. Now it's very important you understand this video is only going to cover getting a girlfriend, not keeping one. So look for that advice and tips in my other videos. So the first step to obtaining a girlfriend is to acquire a target. Now this book goes through and explains how to pick up a chick at a bar, but this video is going to be more geared towards finding a potential spouse and not necessarily a one-night stand. So you need to be looking for qualities you want in someone to live a life with. Are they interesting, and do you think you both could benefit being a part of each other's lives? Have they developed the characteristics of a potential mate you wish to live with? Stuff like honesty, loyalty, and the ability to compromise are huge factors when looking for a mate. And if they don't have them yet, you may want to wait or look elsewhere. So tip number 2 is to approach the girl. So this is definitely the hardest part, and lots of guys have trouble finding the confidence to go up and talk to the girl on the spot. Especially if she's around her friends, it can be very nerve-wracking. Now there are tons of tricks and pickup lines to approach the girl, and I'm going to give you 3 basic ways to approach a girl you like. One way the author suggests is to carry a ball of lint around with you, and whenever you meet someone you want to start a conversation with, pull out the ball of lint and ask, "How long has this been on you?" And this will do 2 main things. First, it will allow you into her conversation, and secondly, as the author explains, it will lower her self-esteem by putting her off guard that you found something slightly embarrassing. Another interesting way is to walk up to her and perform a cheesy magic trick. Now there are plenty of these you can find online, and many can be learned in a matter of minutes, so this is pretty cool. The author suggests telling a lady that you've taken a handwriting analysis class, and that you want to try reading her handwriting. Ask her to write a slightly seductive sentence, and if her letters are straight up and down, you can say that she has a lot of confidence and likes to be independent. If her letters are slanted, you can say she likes to relax, yet have fun on occasion. And if her letters are close together, tell her she likes to be close to another human. And if her words are far apart, tell her you think she likes her personal space, and then lean in real close and whisper in her ear, and ask her if it's true. But really, this book is definitely kinky. The third is just to walk up to her and do a cheesy pickup line, something like, "Hey, I'd like to get to know you better, what are your passions?" Works great because just like How to Win Friends and Influence People suggests, the more you can get someone talking about themselves, the more psychologically attracted to you they will become. And this also skips you to tip number 4. So ending this tip, the best way will vary in every situation since every relationship will be different. Some will be geared more towards cute, others serious, and some sexy. When you approach her though, think about what you will be telling her parents or your children 10 years down the road about how your relationship started. So tip number 3 is to show that you have value. So this step, after you have initiated a conversation, is to tuck your peacock feathers. So how can you show her that she needs you in your life? Some people call this selling yourself. Basically, you have to be great at marketing your own skills. Now, it's not like finding a job. You have to make her like you. Show her how much more interesting her life will be with you in it. Teach her all the stuff you're passionate about, because there's something most women find sexy about seeing a man passionate. The book suggests wearing great clothing and always smelling good. A tip the book gives on smelling great is to take 2 colognes and spray them on each wrist. Now go to a public place and ask a whole bunch of girls which one they like best. Now keep a pin on you and mark a tally each time a wrist gets picked. Since colognes are scientifically designed to mix with your pheromones and oils, the favorite smells will vary with every man. A value could be anything, but it's best measured by a lady in a charismatic personality and positive attitude. And for great advice on this, check out some of the other videos on my channel. So tip number 4 is to create an emotional connection. So after telling her something you're passionate about for a couple minutes, or until she starts to show sign that she's not interested, ask her about things that she's passionate about. Start to probe a bit into things that she's emotionally attached to, and learn as much about her as you can in 10 questions. Now this is where you ask the questions. If you've both got time, listen to her as long as you can. And since you told her something that you're passionate about first, she will psychologically trust you more, and then be more open to tell you things that you can be trusted with. And once she does this, you two have an emotional attachment. And this is super important. There's deep psychological meaning that you can use to convert this emotional attachment into attraction, and you'll learn how to in the next few steps. Now, tip number 5 is try to get her alone. And by now, she should trust you enough to go somewhere alone with you. And if you're in a bar, this might be like in the corner of the room or even going outside. If you're in college, this could be like going to a coffee shop or someplace away from her friends, yet still in public. And if you're in high school, this could get tricky. The main idea is to take her to a place where it can be just you two, yet not alone enough to start to creep her out. And this will lead into the next step, which is physical contact. So now it's time for the real deal. After you have her in a private place, or someplace where she feels comfortable, try to create a physical connection, and this will bridge the gap between emotional attachment and attraction. Now you can pull her hair back, you can ask her to dance, or you can even ask her to kiss. And this book gives great advice on asking for a kiss if you have the confidence. You have to have the confidence for this trick to work. Ask her, "Would you like to kiss me?" And if she says yes, which is pretty rare the book says, grab the side of her face with your hand, look right into her eyes, and go for it. If she says maybe, or I don't know, or any other synonym that sounds like that, say, "Well, let's find out," and lean in really close, slowly, and kiss her. And if she says no, the book says to tell her something like, "I didn't say you could, it just looked like you had something on your mind," which could come off a little jerkish, so be careful and think about the personality of the girl you're talking to before you say it. And tip number 7 is to ask for more. Most of the time, if you made it to kissing her or dancing with her, and you did it right, you'll have her going crazy for you. And all you have to do is make it official by saying something like, "I'd love to spend more time with you. Want to meet me for coffee or pizza or a movie or Netflix?" And if she's into you, she'll agree, and you've got yourself a girlfriend. Now, know that any time during these steps, if you get the courage, just plain asking her out to be your girlfriend is totally acceptable and will be way easier. Also, these tips could go from a couple minutes long to a couple days long, but any longer and it's quite ineffective. Now, I try to make this video as smooth as possible by combining the secrets of pickup artists and how to start a successful relationship, but know that every situation will vary and that this is just a psychological guideline that might work. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, click the like button. If you have any questions, leave a comment below and subscribe for more. Oh yeah, and by the way, I'm shipping this book to Pester Weaver for being such a loyal viewer. Thanks for all the supportive comments, Pester.
How to tell if a girl likes you. The courting process almost always involves a female giving clear signs of interest first. So it's up to us guys to identify whether or not a girl is interested and to make the move physically. There are 3 factors. I've coached men from all around the world, all of whom have since dramatically improved with women. The following procedure is a proven method to getting a long-lasting girlfriend, but you're not gonna like what you're about to hear. This video is not about some trick you can pull. The procedure I'm about to reveal to you is designed to make a long-lasting change. This video is meant for those willing to make that change. Step number 1 is to tune. Tune like how a musician tunes an instrument before he can play it. The reason you can't get a girlfriend is simply because of your lack of social skills. Your looks, your race, the amount of money you have are definitely all factors, but the largest denominator by far is your social skills. Your ability to meet new people, make a positive impact on their lives, and to befriend them. The key to mastering this skill is just like mastering any other skill. You have to tune, practice, and repeat. In order to tune your social skills, you need to know what are good social interactions and what are bad social interactions. Some of us have no idea how to tell the difference. By reading the following 2 books, you'll be able to tune your knowledge on social skills so that you'll know what to look for. Read How to Win, Friends and Influence People, and What Everybody is Saying. These 2 books give you all the information that you need to know about social skills. Now that you know how to tell if you're having a good social interaction, you have to step number 2, practice. Practice what? Practice talking to people. The easiest way to do this is to start speaking to strangers. For my clients, I give them the assignment of interacting with 5 complete strangers a day. Talk to the people around you throughout your day, like your cashier, your bus driver, someone waiting on the line with you. Start with small, easy conversation starters. Things like, hey, what's the time? How'd I get to so-and-so? How's your day going? You may find people treating you weird at first. This is fine. All you have to do is tune your body language. After each interaction, use the knowledge of good social interactions that you've learned from reading those 2 books in the previous step to constantly tune your approach. Change the amount of eye contact you're holding. Change the angle you approach someone at. Adjust the amount you smile. All of these things, which are covered in those 2 books that we mentioned in the previous step. Keep practicing every single day until you can get a majority of positive interactions from complete strangers. For some, this may take a week. For others, this may take a month. Do not get discouraged if your improvement is slow. Remember, anything can be learned and anyone can learn them. By repeating this task on a daily basis, you'll also find that you'll become significantly less nervous around strangers. Your social anxiety will also drop dramatically. This is crucial for step number 3. Step number 3 is to make friends with strangers. Congratulations, now that you've gotten somewhat good at approaching people, you've learned how to give a good first impression. You've learned how to confront absolute strangers. You've overcome a large amount of social anxiety. Now the next step is to further your social interactions. This means having deeper conversations and eventually becoming friends with absolute strangers. I would tell my clients to attempt to have a deeper conversation with at least 2 of the 5 people they were to interact with on a daily basis. Check out the videos I have on deeper conversations and conversation skills. Use the information there and start making friends with strangers. After breaking the ice, dive deeper and attempt to build some sort of rapport with them. Talk about something that you have in common. Make a comment about something that's happening nearby. If the interaction goes smoothly, invite them out to hang out. Some will say no, some will say yes. Keep practicing till you get comfortable with building a bond with a complete stranger. Step number 4 is to retune. For steps 1 through 3, chances are you haven't been approaching people of the opposite sex that you find extremely attractive, probably because you were simply too nervous. But by now, you've gotten good at giving a good first impression and making friends. Your social anxiety has also dropped dramatically, but getting a girlfriend is slightly different than making friends. The social interactions are very similar, but there are some nuances that you'll have to tune. Read Models by Mark Manson. This book covers all you need in order to tune your interactions with potential romantic partners. It also teaches you a very important mindset you need to know in order to proceed. Step number 5 is to interact with members of the opposite sex that you find attractive. Similar to step number 2, instead, go out of your way to interact with the people that you find most attractive. This will dramatically reduce the amount of social anxiety you feel around them, which will make your future interactions flourish. For my clients, I assigned them the 100-month challenge. The goal of this challenge is to interact with 100 members of the opposite sex that you find attractive within a month's time. Any and all forms of verbal interaction with a woman you've never met before counts. Make sure you record all your interactions during this challenge and constantly tune your approach. Try to hold deeper conversations with some of these women. A lot of men in this modern age have a built-in fear of speaking with women. This challenge will absolutely destroy that anxiety. Now you know how to leave a good first impression. You also know how to build rapport and become friends with absolute strangers. And you've also been reducing your levels of social anxiety over the past few weeks or months. You've developed your social skills dramatically. By simply following steps 1 through 5, it's safe to say that you've developed social skills better than the large majority of people. You owe yourself a pat on the back. But step number 6 is where the real fun actually begins. Approach 3 women a day and ask them out on a date. You don't need a fancy pickup line. All I use is, "Hey, I thought you were cute, so I had to come and introduce myself." Introduce yourself and ask, "What's your number? I'd love to take you out on a date." I'm gonna warn you now, the majority of these women will say no to you. This is for a variety of reasons. They may already have a boyfriend. They might be going through something personal right now. They may have just gotten out of a toxic relationship. Never take a rejection personally. Mark Manson, who is considered to be one of the best dating coaches on this planet, openly admits that his rate of success with women is only around 8%. By approaching 3 women a day and asking them out on dates, you'll start to get yeses. Here is where you take them out on an actual date. It doesn't matter where you take them out to as long as it's a place that promotes interaction. So that means no movies. During the date, the one thing that's most important is to escalate physically. Make sure that she knows that you are sexually interested in her. Check out my video about the Kino escalation ladder. Honestly, you're gonna have a bunch of bad dates where you don't hit it off. It might be because you don't have common interests. It might be because she's batshit crazy. It might be because you simply don't like her views on life. Many times, there simply isn't a spark. But if you continue to talk to girls and taking them out on dates, you will eventually meet some where you both hit it off. Step number 8. You've made it this far. You've grown a lot. At this point, you will have women that you can go on dates with. Find the one that you enjoy being around the most and ask her out on dates more often. Congratulations, you now have a girlfriend. Steps 1 through 8 can stem over the course of a month to even a year. It really depends on how much effort you put into the assignments. Remember, there are no tricks that will get you a long-lasting girlfriend out there. You need to change your foundation and who you are at your core. This step-by-step guide molds you into a confident person who has exceptional social skills. This is what eventually gets you a girlfriend.
guys, it's Practical Psychology here, and after my video on how to tell if a girl likes you a lot, got a lot of great feedback, I decided to make a video on 10 psychological ways to get a girl to like you. First off, I want to say that these are ethical and aren't manipulative, but will, in the end, make a girl subconsciously be attracted to and want to be around you more. So number 1, have your own life. This is like literally the foundation of starting a great relationship and will give you the starting base to make her like you. Think of it like this. If someone tries to sell you this amazing new book with all kinds of secret life formulas that will make you rich, happy, get a six-pack in 3 days, and become a new world leader, and the marketing and packaging of the book looks great, but then you open it and read it and all it says is, life is short. You don't need these things. Buy more books for better advice. When you are trying to get in a relationship or make a girl like you, and you have a boring life, this is literally what you're doing. Imagine having an amazing life and doing awesome things that you say, hey girl, I really like having you around. You want to stick around? And that's all it takes. Make your own personal life interesting and girls will flock. Tip number 2, have an interesting hobby or passion. Here's another super interesting tip that is hard to find elsewhere on the internet. Literally having just one passion will make you seem more interesting, plus it adds respect to tip number 1. You're starting your own life. Your hobby can be anything that you're passionate about, just make sure it's true passion and not faked. If I said I love chainsaws and carving chainsaw art in my free time, but I actually didn't, the sparkle wouldn't be there and the girl won't see it. When you are actually passionate about something, your girl will notice. There's something infinitely sexy about a guy with an intense passion towards something. It could be programming, motorcycling, cooking, drawing, reading, playing an instrument, and anything else that suits your fancy. Just put in the time. Bonus points if you create something in the process. Tip number 3, have great hygiene. Okay guys, number 1 tip to instantly make a girl attracted. Smell good. I don't even mean smell amazing, you just have to smell decent. Go take a shower, rub body soap all over you. Twice. Now shampoo your hair, dry yourself off, apply good deodorant, put clean clothes on, and you're set. No need to douse yourself with half a gallon of Axe body spray, you just have to smell presentable. You can, though, buy some cologne and spray 1 squirt, 2 squirts max. I recommend 1 on the wrist and 1 near your neckline. This is all it takes to smell great, and girls fall for great smelling guys all the time. Tip number 4, ask her to do things for you. So this is definitely a secret tip, and maybe even a bit manipulative, but definitely not anything evil or negative. Just ask her to do something for you. There's a psychological effect called the Benjamin Franklin effect that goes like this. You ask a girl to do something for you, she does it, and in the end she subconsciously likes you just a bit more. You might be asking why though? Well, when we do stuff for people, our brain thinks since we're doing something for them, we must like them. Now Benjamin Franklin used this technique on his rivals and political opponents to get them to like him more. Also, there's something called the consistency bias. After someone has done something for you a couple of times, they're more likely to do more just because they don't want to look inconsistent. Tip, ask for things like picking up a pencil, for notes in class, giving someone a paper, or even small errands. But don't overdo it though, or she'll feel like you're using her. Tip number 5, make her laugh. This is a great tip, and you may not think you're funny, but the truth is everyone can be funny if they try. You have to put yourself in enough situations to get used to the awkwardness of telling an unfunny joke, enough that you have the confidence to tell more jokes around people. The more you tell, the better you will get. Girls love laughing, and the more that you can make them laugh, the higher up in their social chain you will seem. It proves that you're intellectually strong and humorous, which is a desirable trait in a future mate. Also, this will give you the chance to see where her eyes are going whenever she laughs, to see if she's interested in you at all. Tip number 6, be her friend. Now there's a big difference between being her friend and being friend zoned. Also, I want to note, it's been proven and totally acceptable to be in the friend zone for months at a time, and then move in and start dating. So go the extra mile and do stuff that makes her smile. Do things that other guys wouldn't do. Stuff like leave little notes in her car, send her good morning texts, talk her through problems and sympathize with her. In fact, in doing these, you're practically halfway already dating her. You just have to tell her that you want her for the rest of your life and you're basically set, right? Tip number 7, break the touch barrier. Here's a good subconscious psychological tip that works amazingly well in many situations. Touch her shoulder, ask her for something and grab it out of her hand. Or make up some game that requires to touch and play it with her, like rock, paper, scissors. Come up with a cool handshake if you have to. The idea is to make her know that you're willing to touch her in a non-sexual way because you feel comfortable around her and to get a reaction. If she seems disgusted or scared, don't touch her anymore. Number 8, tell her secrets. Tell her a secret about you, something personal that not very many people know. This will open the door for trust, and as you tell her more things about you, she will notice that you trust her. And in turn, she will trust you more. Psychologically, we like and trust people who trust us first, because we have a natural instinct to be wary of new people and not to trust them. So when you prove that you trust her, she will start to reciprocate in the same fashion. Now, I recommend telling her secrets that you'd be okay with if other people knew, just in case she tells someone. But make sure they're personal and make sure they would be considered a secret. Bonus points if they're things that are slightly embarrassing. Something like you have 11 toes or you're voting for Trump should do fine. Tip number 9, give her all of your attention. In a world where your attention can go anywhere, it is one of the most valuable things you can give a girl. If you want her, pay attention to her, and not just for a couple minutes. Look her in the eyes when she's talking to you and make mental note of all the stuff she's talking about. If you can mention it in later conversations, she'll feel special and start to enjoy your presence. This works with anyone. The last tip is to beef up your confidence game. I'll be making a video soon on some amazing secret tips that you can do each day to boost your confidence game. This has a lot to do with being self-aware and knowing what makes you awkward and insecure, and working on yourself and improving this to become more secure and confident who you are as a person. The best general advice I can give you to become more confident and to make a girl like you is to work out regularly. If you're in middle school or high school, I suggest 3 days a week: arms, legs, and core/cardio. Now, near the end of high school and during college, you can get in a more advanced schedule and supplements, and I might go into that kind of stuff and topics in future videos. Thanks for watching, guys, and click the like button if I should make more psychological tip videos. I hope these tips added value to your life, and if you want more psychological
Together, we are strong. Epic.